If you're excited about the release of the new Practical Magic film, you're gonna want to hear this. I have a theory about the new Practical Magic film, and I think I found the real English village that inspired Thornfield, the place where the Owens family came to visit in Essex. Hi, I'm Lara Craft, a hedgewitch from Manningtree, Essex. I've loved practical magic for years, so when I found out the new film was based on the Book of Magic, I had to read it. And that's when I noticed something a bit strange. In the Book of Magic, the author Alice Hoffman sends the Owens family to Essex, but the chosen location isn't random. In fact, it's very well researched and thought out. And I think she's based it on a very small town immediately adjacent to Manningtree. And I'm going to give you 10 pieces of evidence to try and convince you that my theory is true. If you like my content, then please like and subscribe for more. And now let's get straight into the evidence. Clue number 1. A direct quote from the novel is, she would have to leave London behind and travel to Manningtree. Manningtree is one of England's smallest towns, but it's internationally obscure. It's not the obvious choice unless it has significance, and that leads us on to point 2, Matthew Hopkins. The same passage introduces the only witchfinder general in history. He lived in Manningtree and Missley and operated throughout this area. Clue number 3. The novel repeatedly mentions fens, and although the fens are characteristic of East Anglia, they're more associated with the area around Cambridge. But what the author is describing is tides, flooded roads, pools, water, marshlands, and drowning. This description reads very much like the Thor estuary marshlands around the Missley and Manningtree area. Clue number 4. The fictional town in this novel is called Thornfield. The Thorn or the Missley Thorn, currently a hotel and restaurant which still stands, used to be the residence of the Witchfinder General Matthew Hopkins. And the similar names between the hotel and the town are circumstantial but fascinating. Clue number 5. We can almost pinpoint geographically where this fictional town is located by the route that Kylie takes from London. Her journey by train from Liverpool Street to Witham and then local bus services through a string of little towns to Thornfield doesn't perfectly fit the journey to Manningtree or to Missley. But from personal experience, I've definitely had rail replacement experiences such as these. Clue number 6. In the novel, Thornfield is developed around Lachlan Manor, a fictional building but one very similar to Missley Hall, even the way that Missley literally developed around Missley Hall, including the estate, the churches, the roads, and the village, is very similar to the way that the village of Thornfield is described. Clue 7. Even the way that the hall's decline is described is very similar. Missley Hall used to be a grand estate and has subsequently gone into decline and been demolished, and only fragments remain. This is another strong parallel with Thornfield. Clue number 8. The Ancient Inn. In the novel, the village of Thornfield revolves around the Three Hedges, a 400-year-old inn which is reminiscent of the Three Cups, an inn that no longer exists but used to reside on the Missley Hall Rigby estate. Clue number 9. If you compare ancient maps to modern Google Maps, you can actually pinpoint where Missley Hall once stood. And if you compare existing halls around the area, such as Bradfield Hall in Bradfield, this isn't such a strong candidate given the evidence that I've provided in clues 1 to 8. Point 10. Hoffman describes a pitch-black variety of rose known as the Thornfield rose. And although Missley isn't known specifically for any flowers that are famously from the area, the founder of the Rigby Hall estate is Richard Rigby, who was a pioneer who investigated in horticultural innovation. He grew pineapples in the 1700s in Essex, a way to brag about how wealthy you were. That's like owning a Ferrari today. Was expensive, difficult, and largely about prestige. This tells us he wanted the rarest and most remarkable things he could cultivate. And the black rose is a symbol of something unattainable, something with impossible perfection, and associated with forbidden beauty, transformation, death, and rebirth. A real witchy vibe. If Hoffman invented the Thornfield rose as a fictional plant, she may have been drawing on these associations rather than on a real Essex flower. Another theory is that she was referring to hellebore rather than an actual rose. Hellebore is otherwise known as the Christmas rose or the black rose, traditionally used by the ancient Greeks to remove black bile, the source of melancholy, and strongly associated with Essex and the witch trials in the 17th century. And interestingly, these flowers still grow in Manningtree, in the ancient woodland on the site of the old Rigby estate. So putting all these clues together, I think Thornfield is located here. But maybe Thornfield isn't just a copy of Missley. Maybe it's Alice Hoffman's love letter to this forgotten corner of Essex. As a modern-day Manningtree Hedgewitch, once you know the history of Missley, Thornfield stops feeling fictional. It starts feeling familiar. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but if I'm right, I've spent my whole life walking through the landscape that inspired the next Practical Magic story.